This is Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi.
So, a New York man who plotted to have his romantic rival murdered and fed to pigs. Yes, you heard that right. Fed to pigs. He's pled guilty in federal court to the gruesome murder for hire scheme. Jeal Sutherland, he's 57. He entered his plea this week after being charged with using an interstate commerce facility to orchestrate the killing, according to a press release from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of New York. His arrest in January followed an FBI investigation sparked by a fire and a tip from the man who said it. Now, I want to stop here for a second because, we see a lot of images on this show, if you're watching on YouTube, of the perpetrators. And a lot of times, you can judge a book by its cover. On this case, this is our perpetrator. This is who we're talking about here. That's Jeal.
Looks like a guy from work.
Yeah.
No?
He looks like the guy where if you're like in the McDonald's line and it's like the proprietor is there that day and he's like helping out at the drive-thru, he'd be the guy who's wearing like the gray shirt. Here's your Big Mac. I made it special for you. The fries are fresh and crispy. You have a great day. As opposed to...
He kind of
Here's
also
your food.
looks like a guy in sales.
Who?
Like a guy in sales.
Oh, guy in sales. I think you said Diane Sales. I'm like, who's Diane Sales? He does look like a sales guy. Yeah.
He does. Like back when we worked in radio, like he's a sales guy.
Yeah. He's a sales guy at
Not a good one.
Yeah, or the radio station, or he also repairs vacuums. And
One of those.
Yeah.
One of those things.
it's one of-
Point is, he looks like a regular guy.
This is the guy we're talking about, so keep that in mind. In November, a man who would later become an informant for the FBI set fire to a car, allegedly at Sutherland's request. The vehicle belonged to the mother of an incarcerated man who shared a child with Sutherland's girlfriend and was scheduled to testify in a custody hearing. Investigators say Sutherland wanted her silenced. The informant later revealed that he had been acting as Sutherland's enforcer. He is an enforcer, completing several tasks of retaliation on Sutherland's behalf. While some of the targets reportedly owed Sutherland money, authorities say the most extreme plan involved a man in prison, the one Sutherland saw as a romantic threat. According to the criminal complaint, Sutherland wanted the man killed after his release in January. In exchange, he promised to forgive the informant's debts, but he didn't just want him dead. He wanted him erased. The plan was to dispose of the body at a hog farm in Pennsylvania. The complaint states, the informant began secretly recording conversations with Sutherland. In one exchange, the informant said, I have a van I can rent for like $250 from a nun. We take him to a farm and let the hogs eat him. Sutherland allegedly replied that his girlfriend preferred a more brutal approach, imagining the man tied to a chair and beaten with a baseball bat. However, he doubted her ability to keep quiet, saying she would fold like an accordion. Despite exposing a desire to distance himself from the act, Sutherland still wanted proof the man had been killed. I don't want to know anything about it, he said, but I'd like to see it.
You kind of do want to know about it.
In a January recording, the informant outlined costs, $250 for the van, $1,000 for the hog farmer. And a partridge in a pear tree. So you're paying off the hog farmer.
$1,000. I mean, that seems reasonable. You are using his hogs.
How often are hog farmers bribed?
And this guy here is like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. We do have to pay the guy.
So, that's disturbing.
Seems reasonable.
So think about this for a second. Maybe I should think about this for a second. You don't have to worry about it because you don't eat meat. But I enjoy like nice prosciutto and things like that would not necessarily just come from the factory farmed hogs. A lot of times I get it from like individual family farms and things like that because it's done better. But this sounds like it would be kind of more along the lines of a family farm. And how weird is that to think that maybe there's some hog farmers out there who can be paid off for $1,000 to let the hogs eat Jimmy?
Or at least this guy thinks this is a possibility. I'm wondering if the informant just made all this crap up.
Maybe that's the case.
And this guy's buying into it. He's like, oh, yeah, great idea.
I want to hear from anyone who knows about this. Is there anyone in the dark underbelly of the hog world, of hog farming?
Is this a thing?
The dark underbelly of the hog farming world, and pardon the pun, where this happens. Like, have you heard of this happening before? Are you someone who offers this service on the side? You know, let me know in the comments on YouTube. I'd be very curious.
You can remain anonymous.
You can.
Although we would like to expose you because that's really horrible.
But I would like to, like, not that you probably wouldn't admit it if you did it, but I mean, I don't know, maybe you're a psychopath and you want to, you know, get it out there. But if like, does this happen? I mean, that's really good prosciutto that I've been getting from some of these. Yeah.
Sounds good. Great way to dispose of it.
I'm really going to be questioning the next charcuterie report that I make. I'm going to tell this story right before everybody indulges in the food, too. The plan was also to burn the van afterwards to destroy evidence. What happened? I don't know what happened. Sister, redacted, he joked, about explaining the missing van. You got insurance, don't you? And instead of execution, or as the execution date neared, the FBI tracked the informant as he cashed a check from Sutherland, an undercover agent posing as a hog farmer. Oh, met with both men. Wouldn't that be a fun one when you're in the FBI? You're going to be a hog farmer today, and agreed to the plan.
The guy's like, I'm my what?
Requesting a good bottle of bourbon as part of the payment to drink the memories away.
It's like, I'll do that for $1,000 and a good bottle of bourbon. Just drop the body off here, no problem.
Jesus.
And they're buying all of it.
I mean, the hogs aren't going to eat the bones, are they?
I don't really know a lot about hogs and how they eat. But
I don't know. On January 26th, just before the man was set to be released from prison, Sutherland met the informant for breakfast before heading to the bowling alley with his girlfriend and her child. There, the informant reminded Sutherland that he needed to be paid before going through with the murder. Later that day, Sutherland handed over an E-ZPass transponder. So take that so you can't be tracked. Let's get the E-ZPass going on, because that's not going to tell anybody where you went that day. $1,450 in cash and a bottle of wild turkey bourbon. That's the
fine bottle.
That's the fine bottle of bourbon.
Good bottle of bourbon.
$1,000 for the hog farmer, $250 for the van, and $200 for gas. The FBI arrested Sutherland the next day without incident. No one was harmed during his court hearing. Sutherland also admitted to leaving a dead Canadian goose with a threatening note in its beak on the doorstep of his target's mother.
This guy is freaking insane.
Jeal Sutherland hatched a vicious plot to kill a romantic rival and intimidate his victim's family, said U.S. Attorney John A. Sarcone III in a statement. When members of the FBI in my office learned of Sutherland's plans, they acted quickly and did not rest until Sutherland was brought to justice. Sutherland now faces up to 10 years in prison. That's it. $250 fine or $250,000 fine and up to 3 years of supervised release. Sentencing is scheduled for September 22nd.
I'm going to be real curious what his sentence is. So one thing I don't get is that this informant person, you know, he's doing all the legwork here. Mm-hmm. He can rent the van. You know, he's the $1,000 for the hog farmer. But what was ever in it for him? Like, was he just, did this guy think he's just doing this all to be a nice guy? Because he gave him the $1,450 in cash, but none of that was for him. $200.
Oh no! Because at the beginning it said it was he wouldn't owe. He would forgive his debts to him.
It was that was it. It was he was forgiving his debts.
Yep.
What a nice thing to do.
He's a humanitarian.
You are really helping me out here, putting together this wonderful plan. Like, and he's just buying into it.
What the hell is? I mean, this guy. He's leaving dead Canadian geese on people's. Like
with a
doorsteps
note in their
with notes.
beak.
Jesus Christ. Like, this is like something I feel like Mad Libs about. Like, I feel like I could have said in AI, like, make me a crazy story involving a goose, a nun, a crazy guy, a lover, and it would come up with something like this.
Right?
This is just...
I agree. Because it just is so out there. And at any point, like, I get the guy owes him a debt, and it's like, oh, this is a great way to pay up. At any point, did you ever get the feeling like between the nun who happens to have a van who will let you use it for $250 to the $1,000 for this hog farmer and a bottle of bourbon and like wild turkey's good enough? I just think the whole thing, like, I imagine now he's like, yeah, I had some red flags. I should have listened to that inner voice. It didn't feel right to me.
What is going on with this guy that he's got this fixer that goes out and does these things for him?
And he goes bowling with the girlfriend and her kid. Like,
he's getting some nachos at the side. Like,
the whole thing is so strange.
Like, what's that? Hang on. I need more jalapenos. You got more of them jalapenos back there? I like those. Thank you. Okay, what's up?
I'll take a glass of this fine wild turkey bourbon.
I want your finest wild turkey. I want your finest Phillips. Yeah. Just
very, very strange, and I'm really glad he was caught.
Yeah.
But damn.
What else has this guy done in his lifetime, though?
You have to wonder, what has he gotten away with if he thought he could get away with this?
I think there might be a lot more to this guy's past than meets the eye. Yeah.
Craving non-stop true crime updates? Press subscribe now and get the latest cases, analysis, and expert commentary delivered straight to your feed. Only from the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today.